In this video, I want to talk about verticals and at least how to initially approach getting vertical alignments into the curve machine correctly. This is the PDF of the job that we looked at in the last video, and we'll be doing a vertical. And there's a big long run here, and let me kind of walk you through this, and then we'll go on to the CAD screen and talk about it there. The curve picks up here. You'll see it runs down and stops here to a retaining wall, and then picks up again over here and works along the south edge of the project. Now, you'll see here that it kind of slopes nice and steps down. Nothing too exciting. We see a call out for a percent slope here, and we've got an inlet here. And one of the areas of note, at least initially when we're looking at these things, is this spot right here. We have a breakover. If this is as the plans call out, we've got about 2.4%, so over a 2% breakover, which could cause some issues with the curve machine trying to jump if that was a solid grade break as opposed to having a vertical curve put in there. So I want to talk about that, and then let's see how we handle that and what we can do to make that a little bit easier transition. So this line in question here is the curve line D21. Let's go to the profile of that and see what we did and kind of how we handled that. Let's scroll down here. Okay, so you'll see here that we've got this profile that kind of works its way through, and just take a quick look at the vertical curves we put in. You know, we're at 6 feet, scroll down, 10s, 13s, 15s. Again, we've derived formulas for how these things are going to work the best, and if we go in and put vertical curves in, we're smoothing out the transition, but we have to be careful that we also don't affect the grading around the area too much. Now, if we go back to the PDF, what happens is we do have an inlet over here, and we have one over here. So these are pretty far away from each other, but sometimes they'll be a little bit closer, especially in a low point. So you really want to watch what you're doing, kind of pushing water to a certain section and make sure that that low point is protected. If the vertical curve gets too long, sometimes it's too flat a transition, and you might start getting some puddling and bird bath where you really don't want it. So it's just something to keep in mind. Let's run back over here and kind of look and see you know what's happened here, and you can see nice smooth vertical transition. And if we get rid of this, you'll see that how sharp things really get. And that breakover, you know, we've got, let's see if we cut that out, you know, we've got, you know, a pretty decent change between those two. And over here, we have a good adjustment. So there's a couple percent difference right here that we sacrificed by not doing this correctly. And if I just put that back at 10 feet, we get that smooth back out nice. And this is something you can play with and get right. Again, we have formulas that we use. They work for us and our clients, but this is something that you'll probably want to work and get figured out for yourself. Let me shut this down and get this back here, this side. And let's talk about that horizontal issue that we were discussing earlier. Now, what happened here was we were just able to come in and stop these a tenth apart. You'll see the start and the stop are right here, so that's not a big deal. But I also talked about a bypass horizontal alignment. I want to show you what that looks like here. This is it highlighted, and let me get it unhighlighted, and you can see that the start of the alignment is right here, and it continues around, and you'll see we come up to it, and this distance here is only 1/10 of a foot. So what I did was I clipped this back 1/10 of a foot, like the other alignment, so it stopped there. But some curve machines really want that alignment to stretch out. They do a little bit of a read ahead, so we've got to have it in there. And all I did was just come up here and drew a line and did a free snap and came out here. And this distance is, even though it looks pretty big here, is incredibly small. Let me get my distance up here, and we'll come here, and you'll see that we are 3/100ths horizontal distance. So it's really not that much, and over that distance that we ran it, it makes no difference in the alignment of the curve, but it allows the machine to come back, circle on itself, and not cause any issues.